Michael Jackson had it all: fame, fortune, and unrivaled talent. But his tumultuous life left people in the real world scratching their heads. Anderson Cooper takes a look at Jackson's rise to stardom.
This is how Michael Jackson first burst onto the music scene. An adorable child, a precocious pop prodigy set to become a big star.
I know he better be good to you.
He was born Michael Joe Jackson in 1958 in Gary, Indiana, the seventh of 9 children. His father, Joe, was a retired steelworker who turned his sons into the original boy band, the Jackson 5, with 5-year-old Michael taking the lead.
He was a symbol for the consummate entertainer. You know, not since Sammy Davis Jr. had someone come along with such a diverse range of talents.
He was just 11 when the group's first single, I Want You Back, made it to #1 on the Billboard charts. 2 more hits would quickly follow: ABC and The Love You Save. It was clear from the start that Michael would outshine his singing siblings, the young boy being groomed for life as a superstar.
From the time that most kids were building tree houses, Michael Jackson was building an image. And Michael was happy to play along with that because he understood at a very early age that image making and public relations was very important.
But even then, there were rumors that behind the happy family facade stood a secret. Stories of violence, of a father driven, riding his children hard, pushing them to succeed.
When Michael discusses these beatings today, he gets very emotional. It's clear that he hasn't come to terms with any of that yet.
Michael still made music with his brothers throughout the 1970s, but managed to move ahead on his own at the same time. He released his first solo album, Got to Be There, in 1972. His first solo #1 hit was a romantic ballad about a rat named Ben.
Been the two of us need look no more.
5 years later, the album Off the Wall put Jackson's solo career over the top. It sold 7 million copies and produced 4 top 10 singles. That would be nothing compared with what was to come. 1982 and the release of Thriller. It was this album which sold 26 million copies and sat at #1 on the charts for 37 weeks that transformed the child singing sensation into a superstar.
Michael was not a phenomenon with Thriller. He was beyond phenomenon. I mean, the record flew out of stores. It could not be stopped.
And with his skyrocketing stardom came the trademark touches, now so much a part of his persona.
From the iconic look to the moonwalk, to the glove.
The red jacket and with the zippers and glasses and the white socks.
But there were also the first signs that something wasn't right. In 1984, Jackson carried home a cartload of Grammys, 7 in all. He arrived at the ceremony with 2 dates, Brooke Shields and Emmanuel Lewis. It was also the start of his obsession with cosmetic surgery, an obsession that would change his face forever.
Every few months, you would see him and you go, whoa, hey, you're looking weird, dude. But I think it was about 85, 86. I was like, wow, he's not going to be able to get any weirder than this. And then 2 years later, I was like, I was wrong.
A 1986 photo showed Michael asleep in an anti-aging chamber. In 1987, he reportedly tried to buy the bones of Elephant Man John Merrick. Then, of course, there was Bubbles the Chimp and an odd array of disguises. If life seemed strange, at least the music still mattered. Jackson's album Bad hit the shelves in 1987 and sold 8 million copies. And in 1988, he bought a 2,700-acre ranch for $28 million, and he called it Neverland.
There's a reason it's called Neverland Valley, you know? His fixation on the I won't grow up, I'm a lost boy, I'm Peter Pan.
With the ranch came the rumors.
Michael began to sort of surround himself with young boys. And much, too, I remember the chagrin of people who were working for him.
1991 brought another album, Dangerous, another #1 single, Black or White, and more speculation about Michael's mental state. His skin seemed to be getting lighter. Jackson said it was caused by a congenital skin condition.
But a lot of people think that he has bleached his skin. With Michael Jackson, you never know what the truth is.
He became more reclusive, and in 1993 faced his first allegation of child molestation. Jackson denied the charges, but settled the case for $20 million. Less than a year later, he married rock and roll royalty, Lisa Marie Presley.
It was quite obvious to all of us from the beginning that it was a sham, that it was a publicity stunt, and it was just kind of disgusting and silly.
And it lasted just 2 years. But Jackson would marry again later the same year. This time, the bride was Debbie Rowe, nurse to his dermatologist. She gave him children of his own, Prince Michael, born in 1997, and Paris Michael Catherine, born in 1998. They divorced in 1999, and Jackson got full custody of their kids. But a third child from a surrogate mother would put Jackson back in the headlines when he dangled the newborn from the balcony of a Berlin hotel.
It's sort of like the anti-King Midas, like everything he wants to do just gets screwed up.
And the tabloid tales were starting to take a toll on the music. Michael's 2001 album, Invincible, sold a mere 2.1 million copies. His troubles, quite clearly, were far from over. In 2002, he fought publicly with Sony chairman Tommy Mottola, calling him a racist. A 2003 Vanity Fair article said he was financially strapped and stated that he bought the silence of other potential molestation victims. In January 2004, Michael Jackson stood before a judge and pleaded not guilty to child molestation charges. And even his friends can only guess at what brought the self-proclaimed king of pop to this moment.
No one knows Michael Jackson really but Michael Jackson himself. I once asked Michael here in this house. I looked into his eyes and I said to him, Michael, are you lonely? And he looked up at me. It was like a 10-second stare. And then he said, Uri Geller, I am a very lonely man.
Anderson Cooper reporting. For more on Michael Jackson, go to our website, cnn.com/international, for pictures and video and a look back on the life of this legend. Now, we want to get a